Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another morning coffee talks. I've been thinking lately um, that I look at my life. I'm 39 now, right? I'll be 40 this year, and I look at, especially in the early stages of my life, I feel like I was just running, trying to do a lot of things quickly, and what that kind of forced me into is a situation where there was no direction, but I was moving quick, right? I was moving with speed. And now that I'm older, I'm looking back, it should have actually been in reverse. It should have been that I had direction more than speed. Moving fast or moving with speed doesn't mean you're winning, doesn't mean that you're always accomplishing. I'm not gonna negate it and say it doesn't mean anything, but direction matters more than that speed. If you're running in the wrong direction, speed just gets you there a lot quicker, right? Most people aren't failing because they're slow. They're failing because they're aiming in the wrong direction. And I think I definitely went through this phase a lot, and I see a lot of men go through this as well, where they're simply just aiming at the wrong target, right? And they feel like, okay, now I need to push it with more speed, but it's like, wait a minute, it's the wrong target. So it don't matter how fast you're going towards that, it's the wrong direction, it's the wrong target. And what I guess the way I can put it into a sentence or whatever, it's like speed without direction is just noise, right? It's like a fast car you hear on the road. It's like why they got that loud? It's like having a old car, but you put this loud muffler on it or these loud pipes on it, versus a new car that actually is meant for it, right? Like a Hellcat or something like that. But you have an Altima. The Altima is just making loud noise. It might have got a little bit of speed because you souped it up, but it's still just loud. But with the Hellcat, it was actually built for that. You see what I'm saying? That's not just making noise. It's not just having speed. It actually has direction because the direction it was made for that specific reason. So you can be busy every day and still make zero progress. That's what I'm going for. You can be grinding every day without clarity and it feels productive, but you quietly wasting years. Fast motion speed doesn't equal to forward motion. All right. The right direction is what's going to create that momentum, not just going fast, not just having speed. When your direction is right, even small steps compound. I've always said this from the start of my video. If anybody who's watched my videos, you know, like I play sports, I play football, and yeah, our coach used to always say, "Hey, man, football is a game of inches," and he always compared that to life. And a lot of times, it didn't really hit. Now that I'm older, I totally understand. And that's the same way that my uncle, RIP to him, he would always say, "Hey, church, get your house in order." I didn't know what it meant when I was younger, but now I'm older. Absolutely, he was on point. So I say that to say, even the small steps compound, right? Slow, consistent moments in the right lane, in the right direction, is gonna beat spinning in circles. And this is how your confidence is gonna build. Not by height, but alignment. Again, I've been in the gym. It's funny. I mentioned a conversation I had with one of my friends a couple videos ago, and he said something. I forgot how we got into the conversation, but he said something. He was like, "Yeah, man, you said that 3 years ago." I was like, I'm thinking in my head like the journey started like, well, the real progress of like really intentional like lifting weights and locked in on my nutrition. Um, oh, I know what it was. So I took therapy like the beginning of therapy like probably like 3 years ago, and I told him I was like, yeah, man, because at that point I was really pushing like myself to like clean out my mental closet, right, my spiritual closet, to just get everything out. That way I can bring new things in, and that I guess specifically I forgot what I told him, but that's where that came from, and it was just talking about just being able to grow from that, right, building that confidence. but I did the work, right? I was aligned with the direction where I was going. But it was just interesting that he said that whatever that conversation we were talking about happened 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dang. And it was just interesting to hear that, because again, I thought I was like, my mindset was like, yeah, all this really impacted 2 years ago. But again, it's a small steps in momentum that maybe you thought you weren't counting, but you still was putting in the work to make the steps to get to your direction and go where you're going, right? And so I just want to reiterate that direction creates momentum, right? It's a game of inches. It's the slow, the consistent movements in the right direction, all right, that compound over time. So you have to get out of that confusion of speed and urgency is purpose, and it's not, right? Um, you can feel rushed because you feel behind, but if you're doing the right things every day, you're going in the right direction. So this one thing I want to say, from what I've realized, the average man from 35, I would say, to 65 is when he starts his prime years, right? That's when he really starts to lock in, really starts to make his money. And you look at a lot of successful people. One successful person, right? KFC, right? The Carnal Chicken. This dude didn't really pop off his chicken until he was like his 60s, 70s. The Colonel. Beautiful story, right? But he never gave up, right? You look at even like the Jeff Bezos and stuff. Them guys was in their 40s, man. You know what I'm saying? But they really made it big. And let me say this. I'm not going to take anything away and say that today is a little different as far as financially successful. You can get it early because there's a lot more options. You can, this world is a marketplace. Before, we didn't have the world as a marketplace. You had your community, right? You had your church, you had your city, you know what I mean? You might have had your state, and now you have the world. Like, you can open up online right now. This video I'm shooting, you know, I've touched people in overseas in London, you know what I'm saying? But the world is bigger now because we can talk to more people. So the marketplace is bigger on who it can reach. So you can get financially successful earlier, but that doesn't mean your mind will be attentive to its purpose. A lot of times that doesn't come to later. You see a lot of men get money early and they blow it because they're not aligned with their purpose on, okay, how I'm gonna use this money. They may understand how to get it, but they may not understand how to use it, if that makes sense. It's a big difference from getting it and using it. But the gap is having that purpose with it, right? And so a lot of times you can move fast, like, man, I'm getting fast money, but you avoid really thinking about, okay, what's really the why behind why I'm getting this money. But clarity requires slowing down long enough for the right aim. Again, you can come across a good play, right? And be like, man, I ran that play up. I got a lot of money, but you didn't slow down to get clarity on what you're doing with it. So the one question I would say this to you guys, and for me, this is even a question that probably changed everything. One of the questions, it was probably like two or three, but one of the questions, it's not about, okay, how fast I'm moving, but the question is, where is this actually taking me? Right? Everything I'm doing in my life, everything I have done, everything I'm aspiring to do, where is this actually taking me? Right? Again, not how fast I need to get there. Forget that question. The question needs to be, where is this actually taking me? And that should start to unravel the purpose of what you're actually doing, right? And be mindful that the habits that you do every day is going to answer that question. The habits that you do every day, that's what's going to answer that question. So I want to leave you guys with this, right? If you're feeling tired, but not fulfilled, you have to check your direction, right? You gotta, it's the same thing like driving a car. If you're like, man, I've been driving, but it don't feel like I'm going, you know, you get that sense, right? You driving without the map, you're driving without the GPS, and you think you may be going the right direction, but you might have missed a turn two miles back, right? You have to check your direction. You have to audit yourself. And not your effort, man. You have to audit your direction, right? So slow progress in the right direction, right, will always be fast progress in the wrong direction. Listen, today, don't speed up, just aim better. And with that being said, hey, I appreciate you guys. Listen, if you got any value from this video, hit that like button. If it's your first time seeing me, go ahead and subscribe. If you've been watching for a while, subscribe. And if you feel like, hey, man, I need to share this with somebody, go ahead and share it out. And with that, I appreciate you guys. Much love. Peace.